Michael, I want to ask you about how VAR was used in the summer. It seemed to go down a lot better, certainly than it has done in the Premier League in the last couple of years, certainly in terms of how the general public saw it. What do you think the reason was for that?
I think there was an acceptance of maybe a lighter touch, whereas in the Premier League we've tried to be really, not forensic, but really clear on what we see in the pictures that they show. In the Euros it was a very clear message about really minimum interference, maximum benefit, let the referee the match, and not have situations where we're having interference from the VAR where the situation could be 50-50 or 60-40. Really situations that they look and they say, okay, that's a clear penalty, let's get involved. Okay, that's not so clear, there could be some debate, let's leave that to the refereeing team who have the sense and the feeling on the pitch.
If you go back right to the very start, we said implementing VAR is the most fundamental change I think we'll ever see in my refereeing lifetime. And it was going to take 3 to 5 years to actually really harness the benefits of Premier League football. If you go right back to the start, we had a really high level of intervention. So we wanted a high threshold on the pitch, high level for VARs to intervene. And for the first half of that season, there were certain things we didn't come in on. And quite rightly, people criticised us. We missed a penalty, we missed a red card, and we probably set the bar too high at that point. We then oscillated and we went probably a little bit too low in reaction to that. And again, people said, well, why are you coming in there? And the last season was more about trying to find a level that's more suited to Premier League football. And we had some incidents clearly that we got wrong, some incidents that provoked debate where people said, is this the right way to intervene or not? So it's constantly learning as we go along.
There's going to be changes in the Premier League now with how VAR is used. Would your experience of being in the Euros, would you almost have your input into that as well?
I think we all have an input, the clubs, the players, the staff, PJ Mowell, our management team and also the referees. There will always be debate. So your programme's on a Monday night and a Sunday afternoon. We won't always agree, but we're trying to work together with everybody to get...
You don't agree with me or Gary Neville?
It depends who's playing. To get to a situation where everybody's at least understands it. So there are some situations where you think one thing, we think another, and vice versa. But at least have an understanding and a collective agreement that we're heading in the same direction.
How much of a benefit though is VAR to a referee? Is it better for you, and do you feel more comfortable when you've got VAR, even though it has lots of criticism, than not having no technology at all?
I think ultimately it has resulted in more important decisions being made correctly. And certainly from our perspective, you know, for example, if you're refereeing a big high-profile important match, you don't want to be driving home afterwards knowing you could have made a better decision, which has had a bearing on the match. But normally, the VAR will give you an angle that you can't have.
Nobody likes to be turned around and told you're wrong in that setting, but doing that and having 20 seconds of pain, if you like, has to be better on 3 or 4 days of newspaper articles afterwards, because all you see now is that when you and Gary speak on the Monday night, the VAR give the decision to the referee to have another chance. The referee's made the correct decision in the end. That has to be a better place for everybody than have 3 or 4 days of newspaper articles and ultimately the wrong decision as well.
How tough is that as a referee, and what is like the support sort of process when you all get together at St George's Park when, you know, someone's in the firing line and you're never really in a position where you can have your say or give your point of view?
It is tough. It's the same as when you played. If you make a mistake or you get sent off, then you take the criticism that comes with it. From our side, it's the same. So you strive not to be in that situation in the first place. The VAR provides that fail-safe, but it's never nice because it's never personal. It's always about the referee, but because you're involved in it, it feels personal because it's your name that's written and your name that you hear in the newspapers and on the TV.
The spirit within the group is just like that of a team. They will arrive, they will have the legs cut from underneath them by their friends, because that helps bring them back down to earth, it helps them cope with it. But there's a great team spirit to protect each other, but more importantly also to learn from each other.
Is there an excitement and an energy looking back to get back in, you know, in the Premier League? You've done the Euros, you've had your rest, you're back at St George's Park. Is there that buzz to get back in the Premier League?
Definitely. I think obviously we've not met together physically for probably over a year now with COVID. This is our first training camp back. It's a pre-season camp. We were fitness testing yesterday. It starts a week tomorrow.
Who was top of class?
Probably Tails.
He's had a good summer.
We'll pass that one. But it starts a week tomorrow at Brentford on the Friday night, and it's the excitement of the season. The same when you played of you have the summer off, or you go to a tournament, you come back, you rest and recharge, and then you want to start again. So it's nice to see the lads, nice to get back together as a big group, and now we're just excited for next Friday and the weeks to come.
Well, listen, thanks for joining me, and hope it all goes well. I'm sure it will.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks, Jimmy.